Welcome. Finance can be messy, but don't worry. We clean it up with facts, fun, and maybe a little sarcasm. Welcome to the Financial Sandbox. Let's get into it. My guest today is Angela Dunz. Now, Angela and I met during the pandemic, and she was instrumental in my changing my LinkedIn identity. And I got to tell you, I'm a little behind. So don't spank me, don't scold me.
I promise.
But I really want to get into your background and about you, because I've always found you very interesting. And one of the things you call yourself, I think you're the accidental, what is it? The accidental entrepreneur?
Yes.
What? How did that come about?
Well, that's pretty interesting. Back in 2010, I moved to California because the economy was just not recovering in the Midwest. And so some friends of mine that worked at Deloitte said, Angela, get you to a coast, either east or west. And I came out here with hopes of becoming a CMO or a director of marketing, and that just never happened. And what I started doing instead was creating curricula for some of the nonprofits in the area. And one of them was for the Renaissance Center, an incubator for entrepreneurs. And I created a course called Encorepreneurs for all of us over 40s that were not getting hired back into corporate America and wanted to start their own gig, but they'd always been an employee. So how do you do that? Now, 1 hour of this 12-week course was LinkedIn. And when the director saw me teach that, and he was like, now, wait a minute, Angela. So this is like having your own personal website for free that you can change readily anytime your business changes. And I said, yes. And so he said, you need to be teaching this to every single person at all of our locations, because this is how businesses are going to get built.
Right, exactly.
15 years ago, it was still a job seekers platform. So I was one of the pioneers of using it for B2B.
Oh, wow. So you started LinkedIn and pushed them in the right direction, so to speak.
I think they call those influencers now, something like that. I never thought of myself that way.
Tell me a little bit. I started with there, but I'd love to learn a little about you. You're from Green Bay Packers country, right?
Yes, I am. I'm a shareholder.
All of you friends who know I don't watch football will be really proud that I even said that.
I am a football fanatic. On Sundays, don't call me. And I need to have an ambulance parked out front because my heart rate just gets out of control when I watch my Packers.
That's great. I have a couple of funny stories about football. Recently, I was at a presentation, and I had a friend who was going to join me in Las Vegas, and Emmitt Smith was our guest keynote speaker, and they were going to join me for dinner. And they were calling me back and forth, and I had to leave a message. I said, look, our keynote is at 4:45 to 6 o'clock. His name is Emmitt. He played football, so it's going to be till 6. I won't be available. I've heard no end of that in the last 2 weeks, that I did not know who Emmitt Smith was, but I don't play football. All right. So take me through it. You've built this business really helping people get their identity together on LinkedIn. Tell me, what are the steps and what are people missing about LinkedIn?
Well, that's a really great place to start, Herb. I think that most people, the thing they hate the most is to work on their own profile. And that is the place that you need to start.
Right.
And that's where you and I started. I mean, I remember you freaked me out completely because you said you tore down your entire profile and ripped everything out of it and said you were going to learn at the master's feet. And I was like, wow, I'm going to have to live up to this expectation here and really guide you through it. And you were such a star student, and you hung in there and you really built a profile that was personally branded specifically for you. And I think that's what it takes, is you really have to be loud and proud about who it is that you are authentically, because that is where trust is built. So whatever your freak flag is, you need to get out there and fly it at full mast so that your people can find you. And the LinkedIn profile is not necessarily all about you. It's about who you serve and what is the problem that you solve for those people. You want to make it super clear from the above the fold view how you can help others.
So 2 things you said. It's not about me. Can you repeat that and really go into that? Because it's really, you've said it's about who we serve.
Very much so. I mean, I don't want to have to spend a lot of time looking at both your website and your profile and never really figuring out what you can do for me, or if I'm part of your target audience, your specialty, your sweet spot. I want to know that you serve me. I want to be called out and named as somebody that you serve, or otherwise I'm really shooting in the dark. So these days, the world is on fire, and that is an overused phrase, right?
Right.
All of us, we have decision fatigue and all kinds of distractions going on. If you can make it super clear for me that I'm your target audience and my problem is something that you solve, I believe that's professional courtesy. It's something that is going to give me that calm and that confidence to know that you're the guy I want.
Awesome. Hey, I'm going to pause this for just a moment and play producer here. And Pete's in the background. Do you have an external mic, or is it a mic on your computer?
It's on my computer.
It is on your computer. Okay. Does she need to make an adjustment on her mic?
I'm trying to decide what to do with that. So your mic is
has a
picking up a lot of S's. Yeah. And so I'm trying to think if you can back up from it maybe a little bit, or I don't know.
Let me. How does this sound? Does that sound any better?
It's quieter. It's not as hissy. Keep talking.
What do you think of this?
Just great. Just recite the Gettysburg Address so that we can hear it, and we'll tell you as you adjust your mic.
No pressure. Let's see. Let me walk through some of these settings and see if I can redo something.
Yeah, I'm going to mess with settings on my side too, but I don't think I can fix that.
Is that any better at all?
Well, it's the S's that are causing the problem, and so I don't know exactly.
And that is definitely a speech pattern problem with me as well.
Okay.
I can't blame it all on the mic.
Okay,
so maybe we just turn down the mic a little bit, and then
I've done some adjusting on my side to see if that helps, but it's still it's going to pick up S's, I think.
Okay, so let's get back to it.
I'll try to back off the S's a little bit.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and like when you turn your head away and you're not directly at it, so maybe you just aim your words at the corner of your laptop or whatever. That might help a little bit,
Okay.
If that even makes sense. I don't know where your microphone is either in your laptop, but it does seem like when you turn your head, it's a little less essy. So
really, well, maybe if I just back away a little bit.
Yeah, try that.
How about this?
Say Susquehanna.
Susquehanna.
Or sassafras.
Sassafras.
All right, let's get back to it. We're good. So one of the things that I'm hearing from you is I think when I first looked at LinkedIn, it was a way for me to identify myself professionally. It wasn't really until I sat down with you that I really had to develop a real identity. What is it that people don't know about LinkedIn? What do they need to look at? Because I know a lot of people. My friend Angeline is a LinkedIn guru when it comes to finding a new job. I envy her knowledge. Uh, what do people really need to know and use?
Well, the competition is fierce out there. And I mean, to say that business is changing rapidly, and we're talking about every single industry and every single everything is in a state of disruption right now. And clarity really is the thing that sells. And so if you can tell me who you are and what you do and what you're all about, and that really kind of boils down to values. Now, a lot of people are going to push back on something like that and say that a social media platform is not the place for you to display your values. And I would argue 100% with that.
Totally argue against that. Yeah, I'm with you there.
And what I find with some of my clients is that, the algorithms they're tanking out right now. Organic content is not getting the reach that it used to. But if you post something personal that really speaks to your values and your character, it kind of goes out of control. It gets a little bit viral because it's not really, people don't care so much about what you do and what you can sell them. They care about you.
Right.
And they want to know that they can trust you. And so creating a personal brand, and it doesn't matter if you're a solopreneur or a intrapreneur at a large enterprise organization or a job seeker, it's really your special something that people are hiring you for. It's you've instilled a level of confidence in them that they're sure that you're going to get the job done as opposed to somebody else. And in a really confusing and competitive market, that differentiation is everything. And so it really is personal brand and establishing your expertise, displaying your values, those, thought leadership and personal brand are really the only things that are working right now.
Yeah, I'm at the crux of real estate and financial services, and to be able to express that, you really helped me to figure out how to do that. And I have to get back with you again and do the evaluation again. But it really sat with me very deeply that it's really important to do that. What about the other thing too is social media? It's like I have to hire someone to manage my social media. Is it really that difficult, or what? Or do we just do it with AI?
Wow, that is a loaded question. There's a lot of different answers that I could give you for that. It depends on how busy you are and how many times a week you want to post. But I have a client. She is a divorce financial analyst. Worst compliance I've ever worked with in my entire career. Most restrictive.
Yeah.
But she cleared a one sheet with them that she worked really hard on. And so I tore that one sheet apart and put together a whole campaign for her once a week for 3 months.
Oh,
And they
wow.
loved all of it. And in that 3 months, she got 2 high net worth individuals that were referrals to her because the attorneys that referred to her saw her content and they said, Elena, this stuff is so tasteful and so good. And so she was top of mind when they needed somebody to refer their clients to for her expertise.
Right.
So once a week is enough if it's high value and people really want to know that you understand them. So you
Right.
really have to kind of reverse engineer. What are they feeling? Where is their fear? If you can allay their fear about what is a 1031 exchange. I mean, I don't want to feel stupid when I talk to you. I want to be well informed before I call you. So if you can provide me with that information or a checklist or a basic case study on what a 1031 exchange can do for me and my family or whatever the situation might be, those are the people that we trust and want to do business with. Is the
Exactly.
ones that have valuable, actionable, accessible information.
So, in the hopes of not making LinkedIn mad at me, should we pay what is it, $500 a year? Should we buy the LinkedIn Pro? What?
I finally caved in. I mean, I built
What?
my entire business for the first 10 years with free LinkedIn. But over the years, they've been stripping free LinkedIn, basic LinkedIn, of all of its features.
Oh,
So now if I want to send a lot of invitations to people, and I belong to a professional networking group, so every time I do a speaking event, I want to connect with all those people that I just met. So I want to have all those invitations. I want to be able to send direct messages. So I did cave in and get the lowest level of premium. And it's around $40 a month, something like that. At least it was when I subscribed to it like 2-3 years ago. So you don't have to get premium. And there are 4 levels of premium.
oh my gosh.
Yes. Sales
Now make it complicated.
Yeah, well, and it is, Sales Navigator is the creme de la creme, and that's what they're kind of pushing all the features into to make everybody subscribe to their top tier. But, unless you're going to use Sales Navigator the way it is intended to use, and I'm going to tell you it is the biggest rabbit hole, but also the most powerful tool there is to find your target audience.
Right. Well,
or your referral partners, either way.
That's great and positive and sad at the same time.
All of the above.
Right. Exactly. So where do you spend most of your time? Do you spend most of it on LinkedIn? Are you on Instagram? I did see a really great post from you a couple years ago. I think it was called Catterday, where you posted your cats at the beach, it looked like.
I have a different persona on different platforms. And, there's I spend most of my time on LinkedIn, but I do help people with other platforms and adapting content to other platforms. Video is a big focus for me these days because video is something that is still performing well on LinkedIn as opposed to just a text post. But I've added a couple things to my repertoire. Just Labor Day weekend, I always need to challenge myself too, right? And walk the walk. And answer engine optimization is the newest kind of search.
Okay, hold on. What was it? Answer engine
optimization.
All right, let's hear what that is.
You're sitting in your living room and you're bugged by something and you go, Alexa, what is the number one answer for whatever question it is that you have? How do I form an LLC, or how do I help one of my clients form an LLC? Or, when should you call a personal injury attorney for an accident that you just had, or whatever it might be? And she's going to come back to you with a question or with an answer to that question, right?
Right.
Well, you hope that your information and your name is going to be attached to that.
Right. Hopefully.
I could ask a question of, what the heck is a 1031 exchange? And if one of your blogs is the answer that comes up with that, then you're a trusted guy.
Yeah, then it's working.
And so for service providers, professionals that are in that space answer. And I mean, we all start that in that place. We want to be personally informed before we contact a professional.
Yeah.
So the professional that provides us with the basic information, so we don't have to sound stupid when we call him or her, that's the winner. And then the other form is generative search optimization. Are you coming up in ChatGPT and Perplexity and, all the rest of them?
Right.
Because that's where we ask those questions too. If it's not Alexa, it's our favorite AI tool.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday when I was in a presentation and on 1031 exchange, and my favorite qualified intermediary came up in the ChatGPT response to it. So I get that from a one-on-one perspective and witnessed it yesterday.
And you can put together a business profile in ChatGPT. You can make sure that people are finding you in AI for the right reasons.
So how long, when you're working with a client to really improve their presence, how much time do you spend with them? How much are you meeting with them once a week? Do you help them along the way? How does that work? And how long should someone expect to be able to see results?
Well, usually I try to get my clients to some sort of a big win very quickly, because LinkedIn is intimidating, and I totally get that. I don't blame people for being afraid and intimidated by LinkedIn, because it's taken me a long time to figure it out too. But generally what that looks like, it's going to be at least 3 months. And it's every single person I work with, it's different. A lot of people want to meet once a week. Some people, they have busy lives and things are going on, and it's every other week. But whatever form it takes with a client, once a week is a great place to start. And it generally takes about 3 months to get through my basic package. Now, I know that attorneys and CPAs and financial planners and busy professionals don't want to learn LinkedIn. So what I do is mostly done for you. I'm not going to expect you to figure out how to put a brand new banner into your profile. I'm going to do it for you. Because then I know it's going to get done, and you're going to get the benefit from it.
Right.
So most of what I do is my clients are making the high level decisions about how they want to show up. I do the execution behind the scenes. Now, my thought leadership package, expect to spend at least 6 months on that. That takes a little bit longer, but my last thought leadership client, he had 5,000 connections when he started with me. He has 2 HR tech companies, and they're very specific. They cater to very specific industries. And his sales teams for both of those companies had been begging him for 2 years to get onto LinkedIn, because nobody knew who they were. They were completely unknown, and the sales guys couldn't do their job.
Right.
So we post, and honest to God, we posted for him once a week. And within 9 months, he had gone to 15,000 connections from 5,000, and had hired 2 additional salespeople for both sales teams. And then he was invited to podcasts and conferences, and we posted not about the tech, but about him personally and some of his philosophy about family and business and life. That's really all anyone wanted to know. And he wasn't comfortable with that. So it was quite an evolution over those 9 months that we spent working together.
Well, it's interesting. I had a new rep that I talked to recently, and he went through my LinkedIn, he went through my Facebook, and really sort of schooled me and scolded me about the fact that there's not a lot of personal. And one of the things I do is I find myself as the walking realtor, the walking advisor, because a lot of times I want to get out and clear my mind. I'm going to go out and do a 3-mile walk. And that started during COVID. right? Because we couldn't go to the gym, we couldn't go to the pool, we couldn't do things. So I started walking and I take photos. And so lately now I'm going to start posting those, right? Because it is what brings some joy to my life when I'm out. So I will connect with you on that. So let me ask you something. The biggest myth about LinkedIn search, what is it and how do you fix it?
Hashtags don't work on LinkedIn anymore. You
Oh.
can forget about using hashtags on LinkedIn. They are really not a part of the whole. In fact, I have heard that hashtags are being suppressed. So search was changed dramatically back in March. And I mean, search is really powerful on LinkedIn. It's feeding AI and some of the other search engines. So LinkedIn search is one of the most powerful searches out there, but it's all based on keywords. So one of the biggest myths is that, LinkedIn is weird because it is a search engine inside of a search engine.
Oh, right. Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Because it feeds Google, but it has internal search results as well. And what might be coming up is not your profile, but a post on something specific. So there's a lot of misconceptions about LinkedIn, but as far as search goes, my best advice to anybody is pick a lane and stick with it. I mean, I picked attorneys because I love to work with attorneys, and not everyone does. Do I work with lots of other high-level professionals? I do. But I really call out that specific audience because I know how to deal with their compliance and privacy issues. And, that's where my expertise is. And I love staying in my sweet spot.
So you're describing a relationship building tool.
Yes.
Right? So what are the first 3 relationship behaviors that you teach?
Say that one more time.
What are the 3 relationship behaviors that you teach your clients that they'll need to engage on LinkedIn?
Well, first of all, I look at LinkedIn as more of a referral pipeline building tool. Really.
Okay.
So your profile is not just for your end users. It's also to give that confidence to your referral partners that if they send their trusted people to your profile, they're going to find what they need to know. But relationship building is the number one use of LinkedIn, in my humble opinion. And so sending direct messages, thinking of people specifically when you are making a post. I might tag somebody in a post and say, hey, Sean, this one's for you. This is the answer to that question you asked me last week about blah, blah, blah. These days, we really want business to satisfy something deeper in us than just a business need. Business is personal, more so than it ever has been. I mean, I think we kind of fell away from that whole idea, but it never disappeared. And so, when I send an invitation to somebody to connect, I give as much context as possible. Great meeting you at such and such event, and here's the answer to that question that you asked me. Let's find a time to have coffee.
And you're doing that through a direct message, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You built
take things off of LinkedIn as soon as you can.
Right. And you built your business pretty much on LinkedIn. You didn't have a website.
First 10 years, I didn't have a website. I mean, I am on my 5th website and I'm still not happy with it. And it's still not done.
Right. Exactly. So when you talk to people, how do you allay their fears when they say, I should have a website, I should have an identity, or should I be social media, or do I just do LinkedIn, right? You're a great example of I just did LinkedIn.
Just do LinkedIn. I mean, when I have a favorite saying from Arthur Ashe. Do you remember Arthur Ashe, the
Yeah, tennis player. Yeah,
Start where you are, use what you've got, do what you can, and it's enough.
it's enough. It's enough. That's great.
I mean, if all you can do this week is come up with a new banner for LinkedIn, great job. Fantastic. Next week, work on your headline.
Right. Which brings me to the question I was just about that I've been thinking about. What's the cadence? Posting, commenting, DMs, newsletters. What if someone has nothing to say?
Everybody has something to say.
Everyone
It
has.
really is, it's finding your own groove. If you're too afraid to post, comment on other people's posts. That is the number one visibility strategy that there is still, is commenting on other people's. So who are the movers and shakers in your industry? Who are those people that are influencers and have huge followings? Make a valid comment, add to the conversation on one of their posts.
Right.
I mean,
right.
everybody is going to have a thought about what you said or what somebody said or some additional thing that they could ask. It doesn't even have to be a statement. It could be a question. There's nothing more engaging than a question. So start with what you feel comfortable doing.
What's the most overrated LinkedIn tactic you see today, and what's underrated?
Posting is so overrated.
Didn't you just say post something?
I talked to a gentleman yesterday. He's a commercial real estate financer.
Okay.
And his network is 800 people. It's a fairly small network. And somebody told him he needed to post twice a day.
Ooh, wow, that's a lot.
Twice a day.
Wow.
And so basically he is cannibalizing his entire network.
Yeah.
I told him to pull back to twice a week and make it something that's really valuable, because he wasn't getting any engagement at all. Maybe 23 views for a single post.
Ooh, wow.
Dead in the water, just absolutely nothing. Posting randomly is not a strategy. You have to I just revised my 4 pillars on what I talk about, what I focus on my content, to just refocus where I'm spending my time and the value that I am providing for my clients, and making sure it's in the areas that are actually working now. I mean, marketing changes every day. The algorithms change every day. What people are telling you, and all of it goes back to ridiculously bad marketing advice from the 60s. It's just warmed over for digital, right? And nobody's paying attention to what's really happening. I try to put my finger on the pulse of what's actually happening out there. And most everything that I do is based on psychology and human behavior. What stops the scroll? That is my never-ending question. What is it today that stops you from scrolling through the news feed and saying, "Oh, there's nothing of value in here today"?
Right. That just takes me. You've done so well, because I had planned questions, right? So, if someone has 30 minutes a day or 30 minutes a week, what's the highest ROI routine that you'd give them to do?
Pick 9 people that you're going to comment on their material.
9 people.
That makes it easy, because if they're not posting this week, you got somebody else.
Okay.
I just hand wrote a list of my 9 people and I taped it up here so that I can look at that. Because number one, the best visibility strategy ever is commenting on other people's content.
Yeah.
And number two, if you're posting content and not commenting and not participating in the news feed, the algorithms are going to say, no, we're just going to let your stuff sit there.
Okay.
We're not going to recycle it. We're not going to play that game. You
Right.
got to play our game. You got to participate to have anything happen. So if it's 30 minutes a week, just go in there, find your favorite 9 people, and make a relevant comment on one of their posts. It could be from 2 weeks ago. LinkedIn is resurrecting posts as far as 3 weeks back now. Each post has a longer shelf life.
So was that different? Did things just disappear on LinkedIn and they have retooled their tool?
And this is very different. This is a very recent algorithm, but it's really funny because I'll go into LinkedIn after not being in there for a while, and the very first post I'll see is from 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
So
wow.
they're serving something up to me that's that old, but they think it's important, so they put it at the top of my feed. And I'm always happy when it's one of my clients.
Right.
Because I made that post for them.
Exactly. So if there's a daily routine for you that keeps you grounded before you open LinkedIn, what is it?
I look at my notifications first. It always starts with the notifications. What's happening with my content? What's happening with the content that I've liked or commented on? Who has a birthday or a work anniversary? What is a trending post that they want me to look at? I always start there. And then I go to the news feed and and by the way, I have really cleaned up my news feed. There are lots of things. I don't want to see anything that I don't want to see. And so I get rid of that stuff. I make sure that it gets suppressed and I don't ever see it again. I'm very selective about what is in my newsfeed and who I see. So I will unfollow, I will hide, I will do all kinds of things so that I am not seeing junk in my newsfeed. And so that makes it more efficient when I spend time there because I'm only seeing what I want to see and things that might be relevant for me to comment on. I have personally gave all of my people on my newsletter the challenge of commenting 3 times a week on 3 posts. That's 9 comments a week. And it really makes a difference.
So you said unfollow and hide.
Yes.
So are you really saying to someone, take a moment, take an hour one afternoon and just look at your LinkedIn and click, 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 tap, tap, tap the whole way to do that, to make LinkedIn more efficient for the user, for
You
me?
will love yourself for doing it. I mean, I'm going to be riding the ferry into the city tomorrow. So, I've got all that time and I'm just sitting on the ferry with my phone and I can send DMs or customize my feed or comment on my favorite people's content. So, and I sit in doctor's offices and grocery store lines and, things like that. And I am not a good waiter. I don't wait very well. I'm a perpetual motion child. So I'll go on my phone and do some stuff.
So let me ask you this. If LinkedIn vanished for 1 week, disappeared, their site went down, how would you maintain your momentum?
My newsletter is really where things happen. People will tell you email marketing is still the most effective form of digital marketing. If you're in somebody's email box, that is an intimate space, and you should not take advantage of that.
Right.
You should really be adding value and being respectful of their time. So if, God forbid, if LinkedIn went down for a week, I mean, I freak out when there have been some global
Outages.
yeah, and it is pretty freaky, but my newsletter would keep me afloat.
Yeah. All right. What's on your desk that tells your story better than any resume? As you look at your desk and you look around, what tells your story?
I had a conversation Tuesday with a very trusted colleague of mine, and he's an innovator, a thinker, very much like yourself, Herb, really thinking 1,000 miles down the road, right? And he said something that really struck me.
Mm.
He said that we are moving from an age of attention grabbing, which is really what marketing has been for the last 10, 15, 20 years. I mean,
Yeah.
it's attention grabbing. It doesn't mean that I deserve your attention. It doesn't mean that you should pay attention to me, but I'm going to grab your attention anyway.
Right.
And people have been using flashy methods and, lead magnets and all kinds of promises that never deliver. And we are so done with that. We are moving into a marketplace and an economy where trust is the currency.
That's great. That's really great. If you had to gift one book you gift most clients, and the line that you quote from that helps you work with your clients and really where your clients say, Angela, this is what I got from you. Is there a quote you give them? Is there a story you tell them besides the line that you just gave us right there?
I really try to keep it as simple as possible. You cannot do all the things. Every marketer is going to say, oh, you got to do this and you got to do that. And I'm like, no, you pick a lane. It is enough and you do it consistently.
Right.
However simple it is enough.
Right. Is there anything that you wish people would stop asking about LinkedIn? And what should they ask instead? Ooh, did I stump her? I think I stumped her.
You might have. I really wish people would. I mean, my biggest request would be that people really turn it around. What do people want from me on LinkedIn? Rather than what should I do on LinkedIn? It's really thinking about how can I help my clients choose me? Rather than how can I get in front of more clients?
Oh, great. Yeah. So that means that that goes back to your personal content really has to have quality. Because it's not about the person you were talking about who is posting twice a day. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to have some quality and some reason for someone to actually look at it and read it. So,
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, a number of years ago, they were tossing around this phrase, attraction marketing. And I'm really sad that fell out of fashion because I really think that is a much more accurate way of describing it. You're really trying to put yourself out there in a way that your people find you. And once they find you, they're going to be loyal. I mean, it all comes down to timing, budget, and need. You got to have all three of those things for a deal to come together. You know that better than anybody else.
Yeah.
But But if they choose you when the need arises, or when they have an opportunity to refer you, you want to be their choice. And attraction marketing helps you do that. You're their choice. I figure even if somebody hasn't opened up my newsletter in a year, if they haven't unsubscribed, I'm still their choice.
Absolutely. 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 So let me ask you something. As we start to wrap this interview, I like to ask a unique question, and I'm going to ask about cartoon characters. Okay.
You're going to ask about what?
Cartoon characters. I'm a big cartoon person. When you look at the landscape of cartoon characters from childhood to adulthood in your role, who are you?
She-Ra.
Really? And why? Tell me.
She-Ra is if you go back to the original series of She-Ra and He-Man, the twins separated at birth in Masters of the Universe, She-Ra is the defender of indigenous peoples. She is the voice for the voiceless.
Mm.
She holds the sword of truth.
Okay.
And
all right.
she has the best outfit in all of herodom. And she has a Pegasus unicorn, a pegacorn.
That's right. That's right.
Swift wind.
Awesome. Well, folks, that's a wrap. I think we got to end there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more raw, real talk on the Financial Sandbox. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much, Herb.
Angela, thank you so much for coming on. This is awesome.